Henry County Airport. Started in, I think, the early 70s. I'm not exactly sure. There were some problems with the airport back in those days with airspace and so on that was finally rectified. We had one hangar on the field at that time that was built by two individuals. I think it was Dick Gray and Junior Snyder. Then several years later, then Timco built a 100 by 100 hangar on the field, and the only requirement from him was that they immediately had to turn half of the hangar over to the county for the county's use. Can't remember when we built the first set of T hangars. We built 10, and then trying to think, the hangar we're standing in, I built it, leased the land from the county and built the hangar. It's probably been about 12 years ago, I think. Can't remember for sure. I can't remember yesterday morning. How can I remember that far back?
Hi, my name is Tom Parker. I'm currently an active pilot out here at Henry County Airport, Napoleon, Ohio. I've been flying out here since 1975 and have seen this airport come from just a paved strip to many hangars, many airplanes, a very nice terminal, and several operators. I've seen the airport change quite a bit over the many years that I've been coming out here, which was in the early 70s. Remember coming out here with my father and my brothers and flying remote control airplanes off the, at that point it was a closed strip. It was a nice pavement, but it was not an active airport at that time in the early 70s. So we had the whole airport to ourselves at that point, racing model airplanes, cars, anything that we wanted to that we didn't have to worry about any kind of airport traffic at that time. My flying started when I was just out of high school in 1975. I believe that was the year that the airport was actually dedicated. It was actually open before then, but I was asked to join a flying club at that point, and I think at that time there was 8 of us that purchased this airplane that we're sitting in front of back in '75, and that's where my career started as just a private pilot. I've never taken it any further than that. For my type of flying, is just all for pleasure. Favorite things about this airport is just it's such a great group of people out here. It's a great flying community. I think there's 20-some airplanes that are based here. All of them have been here a long time. I've seen most of my pilots that I trained with in '75, some of the guys have moved on, but some of the guys are still around, some of the airplanes are still around. And it's just a great place to spend a weekend. Just come out, it's quiet, you can get your feet off the ground for a little while, you can fire up the barbecue. It's just a great place to spend time. Some of the places that I've enjoyed flying to is, I really like to fly up to Mackinac Island when I was more active than I am today. It's just a short trip from here. You can spend the day up there and still make it back home decent enough time in just one day trip. That's always a nice trip. Put-in Bay is just a nice little hop from here. A nice airport to fly into, spend the day there, come back. That's kind of all the flying that I've really done, besides just going for local hamburgers at different airports that do have cafes. That's always been a favorite for getting some pilots together on a nice weekend and flying down for a breakfast or lunch. Some of the things that I remember most at this airport was, of course, my private ticket that I got in 1975. That was a big point in my life to actually have a pilot's license. And then when I was taking instrument training many years ago, that was it was fun with the instructors actually getting up in the clouds and flying approaches to the airport. That was very fun. Questions asked about the scariest things in my career as a pilot. Really haven't been too many of them. I hit a bird one time and it scared the crap out of me. I didn't know what it was at the point, but I was by myself and I never saw the bird. I turned around and tried to maneuver the airplane to see what I hit, but I never did see it. But it didn't break the windshield or anything, but it sure broke up the monotony of a cross-country flight that I was on.
My name is John Nye, and I'm the president of the Henry County Airport Board. Been involved with the board for about the past 15 years. Been involved in the airport for almost 20. Just thoroughly enjoy the fellowship that I have with all the other pilots, listen to the airplane stories that everyone has to tell, and just being a part of making sure that our airport stays viable for many years to come. Over the last number of years, the issue that we have to deal with as a board is mostly the financial issues, making sure that the airport stays financially responsible to all of the people that are tenants here, and also making sure that financially that we're supporting everything that it takes to operate the airport. Each year it just seems like it's more difficult, just like everyone else. It's harder to make those dollars stretch farther to do the same things that you do for the airport year in and year out. So you have to really stay vigilant on watching your expenses, making sure that grant monies that are out there, that you're out there applying for them and doing everything positive that you can to bring funds into the airport. Over the last 5 years, 6 years, some of the improvements that have taken place is the actual terminal building, our administrative building that we have here, is brand new, that we're very proud of. Most of that is paid for out of federal grant funds with matching funds from the airport board, and it more than tripled, I think, probably close to tripled the size of our old facility, if not more. The old building that we used was the original building when the airport was originally put here, and it had just literally just outgrown its purpose, and we were able to supply this particular facility through grant funding through the FAA. That is entitlement funds that every airport gets every year out of gas taxes, and we accumulated enough to where we were able to purchase this particular building, have it put on this particular site where we're basically sitting right now. Our lights that we have now are the state-of-the-art, most current approach type landing lights that are out there available. They are LEDs. When we put those in a couple of years ago, we were one of the first ones in the country to be able to use an LED lighting system for landing purposes for aircraft that are coming in. Again, those were purchased through grant funding through the FAA with matching funds from the local board. So we're very pleased to be able to have those. And try to stay up current with all of the safety issues, which is one of the first things that the FAA looks at and feels as though that we need to be responsive to our safety issues. So that was very important that we got that accomplished. What is my favorite thing about the airport? Probably just coming out here and just hanging out and talking to guys that fly and experiences. We have quite a wide array of individuals that fly. We have a full commercial pilot that flies for Delta that's on our board. We have a doctor that's on our board that flies a jet of his own. And then we have the guys that fly low and slow like I do. And everybody has their own stories to tell. The camaraderie between everybody here with a common goal of keeping a very functional airport is everybody's common goal. So it's just fun just to sit around and tell stories, and occasionally we do fly. It gave me the opportunity probably to meet people and have the opportunity to make new friends that I probably never would have met, probably never would have had any possible time to spend with them or associate with them. It just gives you a whole nother perspective of what goes on in your community, finding out how important an airport is to a community, not only to community development, but for businesses that are here currently. People fly in on a regular basis to do business, and without being part of this airport, you'd never know that those kind of things even go on. Wow, how do I see and what's the future of the airport? I wish I had a crystal ball. I wish I could tell you the answer to that. I don't know. Each year it gets more difficult. Expenses are more. It costs more to fly. It seems like you don't get as many people that are taking flying lessons to become pilots. I think that's going to be probably the future of every airport, is trying to get younger and more people involved in flying to keep flying itself alive, because without those small airports, I mean, that's the lifeblood of all aviation that's out there. So I think that's going to be the biggest problem, the biggest task, along with funding, which is always a task. Okay, what you're looking at here is our present location of the airport property. This is our access road into the facility, and this area is parking. This is the building that we're presently setting in. This is our newest addition, our terminal building, which is about 4 years old now. Our old terminal building used to set in this area right in here, and has since been, of course, demolished and removed once this particular new building was put in place. This is a exterior hangar that's used for repairs of aviation. Across the area here is a large hangar that now has been turned into a maintenance hangar for our airport manager, Randy Ames with Ames Aviation, that he does repairs to small jets, large twin engines, and of course any of the small aircraft on the field. The area that I was speaking about earlier that you see shaded here is the area that is considered where we park airplanes. This is our fueling area in this particular area here, where we have buried fuel tanks that we have aviation fuel, where airplanes actually come in, taxi in, set in here to be refueled. This project went to bid in February to remove all of the asphalt from this area, grind it down, regrade it, put new drainage systems in, and then resurface this whole area with concrete, because the price of concrete is cheaper right now than what asphalt is. So we're going to take advantage of putting concrete in, plus the life of the concrete is considerably longer than what asphalt would be. The nice part about it is our bids came in low enough to where we think we can probably extend this project over in front of, there is a north-facing hangar here that we can resurface this area from here all the way out through here and straight across. That will give us everything from our runway, which is here, from here all the way out will be all new surface, and should last anywhere from 40 at least plus years of existence, which will give us a very nice, clean looking approach area for any airports, people that may come flying in here to do business. So we're very pleased about that. This project right here was bid out at around $400,000, and then the additional to do this area from here across is going to be, by the time we get done, probably pushing $600,000. And it sounds like a lot of money, but federally funded, we get about $150,000 a year returned to us in entitlement funds out of gas taxes. So we roll that over, and you can see over a 4-year period, we have banked $600,000 to take care of this particular project. So on a local match, it's only 10%. So we put in 10% of the 600,000, which comes down to 60,000. Pretty reasonable for a $600,000 project. So we're very pleased to see that accomplished and hope to have that finished sometime by this fall.